Okay, I think we should be live now. Hello to everybody who's watching, and hello to you, Maya. I'm going to start with a little bit of an introduction on who Maya is. Full name Maia Torp Neergaard, and she is a film artist from Copenhagen who investigates collaborative ways of working and living, and is focusing her camera on matters of human rights, different ways of living, and nature. And Maya is currently studying at the Malmö Art Academy and at the HBK Braunschweig, where we met each other. Today, we will be talking about two films. One, which is titled Al-Nisa. It portrays a group of Syrian women gathered in a workshop space in Berlin. And there, they are working together on issues around integration, human rights, and homeland. You can see the bottom picture of the background, which is a film still from that film. And we will also be talking about your news film as well, which is currently being exhibited within the EMAF Festival at Haza 29, which is where you are talking from now. And the film is called Syria is Safe. The title is also a proclamation of the Danish government that was stated in June 2020 that Damascus is safe to return to for the Syrian people. The film depicts people on a sunny, calm spring day in different gardens in Denmark. The people are weeding. These calm images are interpersed with pauses of text, giving us the political background of Denmark and this proclamation that Syria is safe. You can see that the top picture in the background is a video still from Syria is Safe. Maya, the imagery of Earth is very powerful in connection to home, country, and people that you use in the video, in the film Syria is Safe. What inspired you to use these shots of people gardening?
Thank you, Sarai. Yeah. Well, as you said, I come from Denmark, and um, this film is talking, referring to what the government in Denmark is saying about Syrian people living in Denmark now. But the film is also about how the rules, the asylum rules in Denmark have been tightened during the last 8 years, and it talks about it just states very objectively, with just text, and it's a very simple film, is what I'm trying to say, with these images of people weeding, and then text of how the rules have been changed and tightened more and more.
Mhm.
And this, to answer your question, it's it comes from being Danish myself, and being very I'm just wondering a lot about how my country has changed its rules dramatically, and been quite a lone wolf on this. I mean, it's not uh, a secret that the world is turning right, but it's just it's like it's very unique with Denmark that it's going that fast. So yeah, so um, I'm trying to look at these Danish people, what happened to us, in a way, and I give no answers, but this film is a start of this search of what's going on, and I think what I've used myself is to, because my um, in my personality, nature is a big part, and what I've been doing while been uh, going to a lot of demonstrations to counter this kind of thinking, this kind of these rules happening in our country. But then I've been very angry, and I've been very sad, and had these very strong emotions about it. But then, and also as we all do once in a while, what can I do? What is this? Why is this happening? Having these crazy questions in mind, um, and then gone to nature when it's been too much, and gone to my own garden in Copenhagen, and yeah, literally weeding or taking care of plants really. So yeah, so I think I'm answering many different questions now, and maybe not the question you asked, but yeah, it's going to nature and what these people are doing in in uh, in the film is
Mm-hmm.
quite is a way of reconnecting with the earth, with the ground, with nature,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's just such a big opposition to what we are doing in Denmark, really. And I think for this piece, I needed a very big, um, yeah, I needed to scream, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's very powerful. You said to me at a different point also that this is your first film on Denmark. I'm understanding now also from this answer that it came from a need to scream, that it came from a need to point this out. Can you explain more on why this is your first film on Denmark? Do you think you would have done a film on Denmark if it wouldn't have been for this change of political climate? And also a short comment to our viewers. I have an eye on the chat. If anybody has a question that they want to ask Maia, I can articulate it. Yeah, so why is this your first film on Denmark?
yeah. Um, I have been making quite a few films in Denmark, but this is, as you say, um, yeah, I think this is my first film on Denmark where I'm really addressing this, yeah, thinking about this Danish identity. And um, I've been as well with the other piece that we will talk a bit about, Alnisa,
Mhm.
and just also to the viewers, Alnisa is Arabic for the women, which is the title. And yeah, I think I've never thought about Danishness as anything interesting before. Um, but now that yeah, it's just it's very rough now, and it's also gotten even more. How do you say, like um, the cliffs between what we are and what we're doing have gotten even bigger, I would say, in this time with the war in Ukraine.
Mhm.
Yeah, because we've had to change laws in Denmark in order to let Ukrainian people come to Denmark and be able to work and to study, which they should, which all people should be able to, I think. But we've had to make a special law because of how the rules are, yeah, are very tight in Danish in Denmark. And yeah, so I've really been thinking about making this film for 2 years time, I think, actually, since the yeah, the Syria's safe came up. um, um, yeah, I mean, I also think that showing it for the first time in this group exhibition also pushed me to make it now, because showing in a group exhibition and then even more a part of this very big festival, these pieces that I usually make, which are quite subtle, quite slow, and um, I think this kind of piece, which is actually also slow, but it's how this thick symbolism is how it is, and the scream is how it is. I thought it would fit more
Mhm.
into this kind of showing. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I I think also in connection to Danish identity, you are using this identity that was assigned to you at birth also as a political tool, as a critical tool to say, I'm Danish and I'm making this film on Denmark. And I wonder also, because of these feelings that you were talking about towards what does it mean to be Danish and Danish identity, who is the audience for you that you want this film to reach? Also, perhaps it is interesting context to mention that the title of the exhibition that this film is being shown at is "Speak so that I may see you," a quote from Socrates. And also, I think, in a way, a sentence that can be read as a scream or as a place to give a shout, a place to speak. Yeah, so who is the audience for you that you want this film to reach? Is it Danish people? Is it people with forced migration background? It's being shown in Germany. How do you want it to touch a German audience?
Yeah, thank you. I see it in a way as a piece of educational material, which I guess you can say about a lot of art, a lot of pieces. But also because it is very like it's it's almost like law text. There's quite a lot of it's quite dense with text. This video of how these different rules have changed and or what has happened in different years. And yeah, I've been thinking about the audience in Germany because this is the first time I show it, and I haven't.
Mhm.
I also want to show it in Denmark, but I haven't really found out how to yet. But yeah, I'd like to talk with German people about, do they know their neighbor? Do they know um, what rules we are making up there? I met a woman in a park the other day, and we spoke some German, and I'm always hesitant to say, oh, I'm actually from Denmark.
Mhm.
Because of the poor level of this language that I have. And she said, "Oh, why are you in stupid Germany?" And I said, "Well, it's also, I mean, it's not ganz einfach in Denmark either." And yeah, this is also something we talked about, Sarai, that you made me like aware of, that I haven't really talked with anybody about. That when I meet people and from because I meet a lot of people here who ask, being in Germany, who ask where you from, and I say that I'm from Denmark, and usually people are very happy to hear about Denmark, and we have all these beaches that I know a lot of German people go for summer holidays to explore, to enjoy, and we do really have beautiful beaches, and I love my country in so many ways, but uh, I must say that I'm always apologizing. I'm saying I'm from Copenhagen, I'm from Denmark, and the next thing I'm saying is that I'm really um, emotional about how we are making policies at the moment, and yeah, I've been
Yeah,
for years. Yeah,
it's really a struggle how uh, we cannot choose what we cannot choose this layer of identity when we come from a country. We are just assigned to it. And even if we don't agree with what it means to be what Denmark is doing, we still have a passport from this country, whether it's Danish or another country. And in some ways, we are still an ambassador of this country, even if we don't want to be. And we're born there and we feel connection to it. It's a struggle. Um, I didn't realize how strongly you feel that Syria is safe as an educational film. Do you feel that way about Anissa too? Because it's much more abstract in some ways.
yeah, um, yeah. No, no, I wouldn't say so. Anissa is, yeah, as you mentioned the synopsis, this piece about a group of women and a group of Syrian women in Berlin working together, and I see it I see it more as an interest into a community that I don't know,
Mhm.
and yeah, I guess making work is also some kind of educational process for oneself, right? And yeah, I think it's quite simple in a way, and I guess most creators feel like this, but it's like yeah, I'm just so eager to learn. I'm just yeah, I have a big eagerness of learning about other people's experiences and how they see the world, and and these women really let me into their world. Yeah, I guess if you are from Syria, what they're talking about wouldn't be that educational for you. Um, but and if you're from Denmark, as I am looking at it, I don't know. I also think that they are talking about very general things about being a woman and being someone who is not from the place that they are living in now. And of course, there's a part which is speaking from the voice of the displaced person that they are speaking about together as well, which I will never be able to understand. But yeah, I don't even know how to finish this stream of thought. But yeah, educational.
Mm.
No.
Yeah, they are. They both, though, have this openness to learning, I think. Whether or not you see it was meant as something educational or not. Um, I also think when we look at both of these films, it's interesting to see how one is more abstract, and maybe some people would call it more artistic in its use of music, and also the medium that you used, which was analog, which is unusual for today. And Syria is Safe, which, as you said, is more text intensive. And it's kind of like two different approaches that we see in these films. One could be seen as more of an artistic emphasis, and the other maybe as more a documentary emphasis, because it's really made with the intention also of giving information. How do these different approaches mix for you, artistic and documentary? Is it separate in your mind? Do you separate it, or is it always mixed for you? Are you always an artist and somebody doing a documentary?
Oh, that's a really great question or questions. Yeah, I would still say that the art world is new to me. I've been making films forever, really, ever since I was really young, um, and yeah, definitely mostly documentary films, and always with a quite slow approach. I've always been interested in looking at um, yeah, I'm I'm not a fan of the sensation or uh, yeah, explosions or whatever. I'm more interested in seeing how people smoke a cigarette or drink a glass of wine or whatever this way. And and since studying art school in Malmö, as I started in 2018, I've come into this world where there are yeah, I think I where I am right now, I feel it's very welcoming to be here and here in this art world, because it there are so many possibilities of how to if we stay in the film, because I mean that's very big in itself. There are so many ways to film and put imagery together in the if you enter the art stage. Um, but and then there are millions of ways of showing. And and to answer your question, I'm I'm really happy about being here because I feel welcome to be able to make Al-Nisa, which I made 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, and then just 1 year after making this piece, which is very different, and has many different traditions behind them, both in the ways of how I show it, how I show them, and also how I what material I use, right? So yeah, so I would definitely say that I have been very locked in how I make films. I've been making a lot of documentary films which are on a tripod, making these tableau kind of imagery, people moving in front of the camera, and you never know of if they go out or in or whatever. And I still love this way of filmmaking, and many of my favorite films are made in this way. But I'm really happy to be in a place where I can use other kind of ways to create now, and being a bit more I guess out of my comfort zone. But it's a comfort zone to try out other things, and then asking for help a lot. I'm I'm quite good at asking for help when I need it. Whew. So yeah.
Yeah, that's important. I think you also gave the viewers some very interesting information now as well, from a few different aspects, but also because you were saying earlier that Syria is safe started cooking in you 2 years ago when this proclamation came out in June 2020. And at that time, you were working on Al-Nisa. So something about these two films could maybe be seen as connected, as the beginning of a process, even though they're very different. Do you see them like that? Do you see Al-Nisa as part of a process of leaving Denmark, and Syria is safe as a process of returning to it? Do you see one thread of questions of identity and migration, or what was the process for you like going from one film to the next?
Yeah. Well, I've many good questions in all of that. I've I think I can start with saying that I've shown Al-Nisa in our class, which opened many different things up. Also being in a class now where there's this concept of plenum, where you show. That's what we do at HBK a lot, at least HBK Braunschweig, where you show and people give feedback. Really, I mean, it's very simple, but I'm not that used to it in this kind of big group. And and it just made me think a lot about the personal, and creating something where the personal is really key in what you make. And then of course I think a lot about what is important to me, and communities have always been very important to me, and that's definitely out of this love that I've made Al-Nisa, this very strong community that these women are. But I think it's having these talks with you and other classmates has made me come toward this this concept of looking inwards, like, okay, my identity, my people. Well, my people are many different groups, but one of them is the Danish people, and I can't run away from that. That's also what you talked about before, and I think that, as you said, with these two films, I'm exploring more and more what it is that's going on in my country, and what it is that's going on with me in opposition to that, or in communication with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Maia. I'm very excited and interested to see also if these films will someday be shown together and to see how they interact with one another. I will definitely try to come to your graduation and see how you put the different films that you've made until now together. And unless there are any more questions in the chat, I don't see any. Or if you have any comments, Maia, then I think we can slowly end this small talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you very much. Beautiful
Thank
questions. Wow. I have a lot to think about.
I feel the same way. Thank you so much for giving us also this insight into your work and into your political stance as an artist and how it's developing. I think it's really fascinating to see, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see these works and really excited to see what you continue to do.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.